All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Just a reminder, make sure you do check in if you haven't already. I think I've kind of like watched as everyone scanned this. It's a super easy scan, introduction code. My name is Sarah Cody, she, her pronouns, and I am here at the Office of Undergraduate Research, and I am also over the Early Exploration Scholars. So if you have any questions, you'll be contacting me. I've been contacting you, all that stuff.
Emails from me, but mostly you'll receive emails from Sarah. And if you apply for other opportunities, you'll get lots of communications from Cindy. So one of the things we want to say is you should take our money. We want you to take it, apply for it. Lots of opportunities. We're going to go over a lot of things today. The Office of Undergraduate Research is committed to student and faculty collaborations. So one of the things you should know about the Office of Undergraduate Research is last year we funded about 760 students to work with faculty. One of the things that we know about when students work with faculty on research projects, you're more likely to be successful because faculty are experts in their area. Some of you may be like, you know what, I want to work on this thing, but there's no one that does exactly that thing. So you may find that you have to kind of find a mentor who can help guide you. Because they might have certain skills that can get you there. But we work with, last year we worked with about 420 faculty across campus. We are committed to across the disciplines. So one thing you should know about the Early Exploration Scholars Program is we're committed to getting you started with research earlier. What we know is that oftentimes students arrive at research later in their academics. They think you only do research as a senior or a last year. Is that a common stereotype still? It's like you think you do it later. But what we know is actually many students are more successful in doing it much earlier. And oftentimes you need at least 2 semesters to really do successful research. It's really hard to finish a project in 1 semester. And so I know you had a semester project and you probably were already experiencing that. Like you kind of get a sense of it, but it takes time to really finish a project successfully. So Sarah's going to go over a bunch of opportunities. We're going to talk about mentoring. But one thing, I already started chatty and I didn't even introduce the team. So the office is not just a Dr. Fukushima show. I can't do this work without my team. They are amazing. You met Sarah. Sarah, introduce yourself. Say a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I did introduce myself a little bit. I over Early Exploration Scholars. I'm also over scholarships in general. So also questions you can ask me. And yeah, also I graduated in sociology, so social work, all that kind of stuff.
Fine. Yeah. Shelley?
Oh, me. I'm Shelley Parker in the advanced finance degrees.
Yeah, so if you want to get paid, Cindy is your person. And then we have Andrew Leva who runs summer programs. We'll talk a little bit about what she does, but we also do hire undergraduate research leaders who work with the office. So if you want to be an ambassador, encouraging other students to do research just like you, there's plenty of time for you to think about applying to work with the office. We would love to have you. So we've asked about, have you done research before? We saw 2 hands. Has anyone reached out to a professor and you've heard nothing? Sometimes you can send an email and you're like, did they even see it? Did they even see it? Well, you will learn that professors, like our students, come from a variety of generations. And so that means that sometimes I have that colleague or professor colleague who literally the only way you can communicate with them is if you show up to their office and they happen to be there, right? So there are some of those professors where that's their communication, right? Some professors are really good on the email. They'll be really quick. They might even do Teams. My team has learned I'm terrible at Teams, except for the first 30 minutes of the day. And so you'll just kind of learn that as you're here at the university, you might really want to work with a professor. You might do a reach out and say, you're so cool. I really want to work with you. And you might find that there is no response. And we're here to have you think through, well, how do you get through that? So one of the things we want to make sure that you're all thinking about is that sometimes it's hard finding faculty mentors. And we're here to talk about, well, how do you find them, right? You are working on a variety of interesting projects. So if you go to our.utah.edu and you click on find a mentor, there's a few buttons that show up, right? There's also an email template there when you click through to find a mentor. you'll find that there's actually an email template. We share the template with you, not to say that this is how you should exact word copy it, but just that you should think about professional communications. We've got a couple of communication people here. But you're encouraged, if you want to utilize that as a template, to reach out to faculty. You can say, think about, one of the things it's suggesting you think about is why them? What do you want to work on with them? And you should say something about you, right? I regularly receive email communications from students. I can only take on so many students in my team. And that's many professors on campus. And so when they're looking at that, that's some of the stuff they'll be thinking about. So your words actually really matter. And so you should take time to look into them. If you're interested in working with a professor, don't just go through the find a faculty researcher and just randomly pick folks because whatever. You should really think about why them? Why them for the research you're interested in? Do they have a lab? Do they have a research team? Or do they have a project that they've been working on that you're like, I think that's so cool. I want to be involved in it. Faculty love talking about their research. So if you can just get them to meet with you, they will talk about it. And you can ask them, what in that project, how can I be involved? So we are actually going to go to here. When you scroll down more, that is some templates. Here on the bottom of the page, there is a mentor panel. There's also going to be another mentor panel. So this is an older one that Shelley has organized that we encourage you to check out. And that actually they're required to check it out.
We'll talk about the date.
And so I'm going to scroll up to here because under here, you'll find that there's OUR faculty mentors at the top. When you click on the OUR faculty mentors, this has faculty that their students have been funded by the office. So you might want to start there if you're unsure about which faculty or professor you want to work with. And you can literally search different topics. We have some folks who are here from humanities, so you can click on humanities. That'll show you the humanities professors. Or you're like, you know what, I'm interested in art, so I'm going to do that. But I'm going to keyword search art and see who shows up. Well, you'll see, hey, why is Martin Hofart showing up?
His last name has.
Oh, and his last name, Martin. So it's not the most smartest search system, so just as an FYI. It may, so just think about the words you choose really do matter. But you are encouraged to click through because these are faculty who actually like mentoring students. They regularly take them on. Now, if you were to take a class with a professor and you were to search this and you're like, hey, Professor so-and-so is not in your database. That does not mean they can't mentor a student. It just means they haven't had students funded yet. And hey, guess what? You could be the first, right? So you could always ask them if they'd be interested in working with you and taking you on. If they're doing research or working on projects that you're like, I really want to be involved in that. So we really wanted to make sure we take a moment in this early exploration orientation to talk about how you reach out to faculty. There's a variety of ways you can communicate to them, as well as just keep in mind that some faculty aren't quick responders on email, so you shouldn't personalize it. They just may be busy. You can also, if you haven't heard from them in a week, you can bump it up and say, hey, just bumping this up to see if you've heard from me. If so many bump ups happen and you're still not hearing from them, you might just take that as, is this the kind of mentor I want who doesn't communicate? Right? You have to decide if that's the person you want to work with. But that's just a little bit about working with faculty mentors. It's mostly current. We do have some faculty who've left the university that might still be on there. We've asked our deans if they could review it, but they don't always do that. Yeah, so we only remove a faculty if we know for sure that they've left. And so it's something we try to keep up to date, but these are most recent. We started this database 2 years ago. So it's fairly new, right? But professors leave, it happens. So in the past 2 years, we've had some departures. So that I can't guarantee if they're still here. So you might want to double check they still have a profile. Yeah, great question. Other questions? How are folks feeling about reaching out to these scary professors? Yeah, you should, one of the things I encourage you to do when you do reach out to a professor and if you commit a time, go to that meeting prepared. Have questions you want to ask them. Have things you want to share about yourself. You can even rehearse it. Don't be nervous. We are regular people. We love talking and we love talking about ourselves. So feel free to ask us questions if you want to get the ball rolling with them talking first, right? So what else is there? So we have faculty finding a mentor. That's what you're going to be doing this semester is your commitment to us is you make a connection. At the end of the semester, we're going to send you a survey, and by us, we really mean Sarah, is going to send you an email that is going to have a survey that includes how did it go. Because another problem we were trying to solve is that oftentimes students have a hard time connecting with faculty. So if you are having a hard time connecting with faculty, we want to know about it. And so tell us about it. If you had immediate connections and they were incredibly supportive, great. We want to know about that too. We want to know that your connections are happening. You should also know, and Sarah's going to go through some of the resources, is that we really want to support you in those connections. So if you want to get advice, make an appointment with the office. If you're like, you know, I've reached out to 5 professors and no one is responding. I don't know what I need to do. Something needs to change. Reach out to us. We want to help coach you in figuring out how do you get there, right? Because we really want you to be part of a team. Or if you're doing independent research, we want you to be able to hit the ground running. And so Sarah's going to go into requirements and all that fun stuff. Any other questions about that? Oh, that's great. So you are already on it. So not everyone in the room is there, and that's okay. I encourage you to talk with Dr. Kamimura about meeting her network and seeing if who does she suggest that you continue to connect with? Because it's not just about one mentor. We always think we need the one mentor to support us in our research. But actually, when you start to move forward in your professional careers, you'll start to realize you need mentors, plural, right? And different mentors will have different expertise. So invite her to suggest folks that you might consider connecting with for either future projects or because what year are you again? You're all like early, but oh yeah, see, you should be networking. And so yeah, do connect, ask her about her suggestions.
Okay, jumping into our expectations. So here is our website, just so you guys know, it's super easy, our.utah.edu/early-exploration. Easy to get to if ever you're like, okay, what are our expectations? How do I get there again? But then also you have it in email, you have it in multiple places. Okay, so expectations, I'm going to go over these quick, and then we're going to go over like the details in bulk of like some of the bigger things. So submit the pre-survey. I think I had already asked, and it sounds like everyone did that. So we can give you a green check on that first one. Pre-survey is an expectation and a requirement for this program. So if you haven't, there's emails. Also, I will be checking back through. So if we haven't by like the end of today, I will send you another email that's like, hey, this has to be done. So yeah, there's that. Attend orientation. You're here. Congratulations. You've done something for the program already. Green check. Okay, next is to attend 2 research tours. I will go into detail again about what research tours are, but just know we do have to attend 2. And when we go to the 2, I really, really encourage you to go to one that is like, okay, yes, this is definitely within my field of study. And then one that's like, you know what, that's kind of interesting, maybe not quite within my field of study, but like interesting because we are exploring, this is exploration, right? So we're exploring what might interest us and where we want to go. So do one that's like definitely within our field of study, and then one that's like, oh, that sounds interesting. Also, like, we are students, so maybe you're just going to go to 2 that fit in your schedule. That's cool too, because we're exploring it. The next one is to attend 2 education series events. Shelly's going to talk more about what education series is. One of them is required, and that's the mentor panel. It is a virtual event. It is October 14th at 1 p.m. Again, this is going to hopefully fit in your schedule. If it does fit in your schedule, I want you there like at the event. It's a pre-registered event though, so make sure you register. If you can't be there, one, let me know that you can't be there. And then we'll like repost it. I'll send you the link so that you can watch it again. And then the other one is an event of your choice. Make sure you just go to one that's going to like really help you to succeed and flourish and like be successful in your research. And again, Shelly's going to talk about that. So that's the requirements within your education series. And then as Dr. Fukushima had just talked about, you're going to meet with a prospective faculty research mentor to help you continue your research. And then at the end, you're going to submit your end of semester survey that I will send to you after our very last research tour. So that doesn't mean like after your last research tour, it's after the last scheduled research tour. That is due the last day of the semester. So our last research tour is like a while before the last day of semester, honestly. Make sure you get it done before the last day of the semester. So you have time to like make sure you're meeting with your faculty mentor, all that stuff, and then make sure you do that. Okay, so research tours. Again, you're required to do 2. All of our tours are found on our page. So if you go to our early exploration scholars page, there actually is like been a new tab that says research tours. So as long as you know where the early exploration scholars page is, you can find all of our resources. Research tours are already posted, so you can pre-register for all of your tours today and know what the dates are and like have it in your calendar today. So just go do it. Make sure you're registering like right now today, because there are limited seats or limited like registration available. So making sure we do it ASAP is important, because we want to make sure that we are prioritizing those who are in early exploration scholars first. So we want to make sure you're going to the ones you are interested in. So some of these lab tours you'll see are like things like we're going to go to the Huntsman Institute and we'll get to tour like basically every lab that they have within Huntsman, starting at primary children and going all the way through like every cancer and mental health. So like that is a huge one of like understanding everything that Huntsman is doing. Yeah, that one's super cool. We're also going to like a robotics lab, like a wearable robotics lab. We're going to speech and sound to understand like how speech and sound is affected. Trying to think of other ones. Oh yeah, we're going to art and theater to understand that one. So like it's very wide range, very huge variety. Just because 2 are required does not mean that you only can go to 2. Like if you have the availability to go to all of them, then come to all of them, right? This is your opportunity to really understand what research is available. And these are also faculty who are like interested in like getting to know you, mentoring you, whether or not you want to actually work in their lab, they're like interested in getting to know you.
Okay, the education series. We have one every week. They're all on Zoom. They're only 1 hour. You will only have to do watch 2 of them. One of them is the mentor panel. And then afterwards, you need to fill out an evaluation form to get credit for attending it. So that's how you do that. Next Wednesday is Why You Matter in Research, and it's about how your background and experience can affect what you're researching. And it's a professor from gaming, and she's done research on when maybe male game players don't want female to play their game, stuff like that. So it's really interesting. Her research really cool. The next one we have September 13th is LGBTQ plus and women in physics. And they've been doing research on what keeps them in the physics field and why they may leave. So that one's going to be really interesting. On September 18th is Finding Your Journey with Energy. And it's Professor Whitaker Brooks. She is in chemistry, but she's doing research on sustainable energy options for communities at risk. So she's from Panama. She wanted to help her country, and so that's what she's doing just with STEM. So it's pretty cool. September 26th is we'll go over the special collections in the library. They have some really cool stuff that you may not know about. They have stone tablets.
Yeah.
Stuff your parents carved on. October 14th is the mentor panel, and we'll have 3 mentors that have done a lot of mentoring of undergraduates, and they'll talk about how they like students to approach them, how they want to work with them. It's a very useful session to watch, and that's why we want you to watch it, because you're going to try to contact mentors. And then October 24th is the Science of Science Communication, and it's how you can communicate science to a non-science audience. Because if you end up doing a research poster and it's very technical, you need to be able to explain it to someone that doesn't understand that field. So, and then, oh, on October 30th, the day before Halloween, is how to avoid burnout. So that's with our Student Wellness Center. That's a really good one. And then on November 6th is an information session about our SPUR. It's Summer Program for Undergraduate Research. And you can apply it. We'll go over it again, but that's in the summer and you get paid to do 35 to 40 hours of research a week and you work with a specific faculty member. So it's a really good and fun experience. You don't have to only watch 2. You can watch all of them. There's 70 others that are on demand that you can, anybody can.
So some of the examples are like Title IX, if you're doing human subjects research. I'm sorry, IRB, if you're doing human subjects, Title IX, if you're addressing issues of discrimination, abstracts, poster presentation, public speaking, all of that. Super cool stuff. There's like over 60.
There's 70.
Over 70 now. We have to update. Yeah, lots of content.
Lots of content. So for both this education series and for our labs, you will have to like just do a quick survey or like not even survey, a form that just like verifies that you've done those activities. Super easy, similar to like how we just verified that you were here today. Here's my email address. Again, you have my email address. If anything comes up, communication is huge, right? Instead of just like not doing it, let's just make sure that you ask the questions and we get it like verified, communicated out. Like, let's just get it done. Okay, moving forward. So here is just like cool opportunities for you beyond early exploration scholars. We're going to talk them over, get that like understood, because as early exploration scholars and just as students at the university, like all this is available to you. So also share that with your friends. Okay, cool. First one is undergraduate leaders, just FYI. Students who work with our undergraduate leaders are students who work in our office, the undergrad or the Office of Undergraduate Research. This is something that is available to you like in the future. Right now, we're not currently hiring, but we will be soon. $15 an hour, 5 to 10 hours a week. And then all these cool opportunities, including peer advising, which I'll talk about, and then a bunch of different outreach opportunities.
One thing really quick about the leaders is you have to have been a Europe recipient. We do have a preference for students who've been funded by the program because we know what it is like to go through applying for it, doing research and all of that.
Okay, so like I said, we are going to talk about the research advising. So stay right here. Research advising is something that's going to be available to you guys all year, all semester, and in the future. Something that I also definitely suggest that you take advantage of. Again, I just listed our undergraduate research leaders. Dr. Fukushima has already addressed them. So research advising is a cool, just like tool that we have available to y'all. So if we have reached out to multiple faculty members and we're like, oh, I'm just like not getting it, or like anything else that's just kind of happening, reach out to our research advising opportunity. This is our peer mentors, our peer leaders, as well as our staff. I do research advising as well. You can just like select some office hour time and just have 15-minute little blocks where you just like say, hey, this is what's going on. Help me out since you've already been in this situation. Cool. And then like that, here's the link. But also if you just go to the website, it's there. Like go to the OER website. Okay, Funding Fridays. This is for like if you're like trying to figure out how to get some of our funding. So you're going to be applying to Europe, you're going to be applying to SPUR. You need some travel or small grants, which we'll talk about. Then go to Funding Fridays. Funding Fridays. So Isabella is our undergraduate research leader who's over Funding Fridays. This is every Friday through our fall semester. It's really early in the morning. It's at 8:30 to 9:30. And you register to attend it on Zoom through our website.
can drop in just for 5 minutes, even if students kind of drop in because they can't find something on the website or they just have a specific question, but they don't know how to answer. They're like, for example, they're like, there's a literature review section, how long does it have to be? Right?
Yeah.
And you can drop in with that question, instead of hoping your email will be responded to, which we are very responsive to emails. You can also send an office, but sometimes it just helps to walk through. Don't even look at it. So if you have an application for your own and we want some feedback, I encourage you to use that time to get that feedback. So drop in, bring what you have, say, hey, come and look at this. I want some feedback,
Yeah, and like this is a quick drop in. So this is one that's like 5-7 minutes that doesn't need the full 15-minute research advising.
You won't say, like, no one's gonna keep you on this. You can
Right.
say one.
Okay, IRB is the Institutional Research Review Board. Again, this is if you're going to be doing any research on a human subject. So once you have your faculty member, you know what you're going to be doing. Your faculty mentor, you know what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing research on a human subject. Then you're going to be going through the IRB. We highly suggest before you start doing IRB, then you start meeting with Miss Sophia. So Sophia sits on the IRB as a student reviewer. So she's going to be able to help you like learn about the process and really like understand it before you actually do it. So this happens every Friday. I should have actually addressed that. It happens on Fridays. What was that? Every other Friday. Thank you. Every other Friday through fall, at 10 to 11:30. There's the dates. It is in person in the library or on Zoom. So, and there's snacks. Yes, snacks happen in our office. Snacks and funding. Have you? Kind of happens. Okay, then you're up.
We hope that the funding you're receiving from Early Explorations won't be the only funding that you receive from our office. And so the goal is to get you to find a mentor, to start on a research project. And if you're in a project with a mentor and you don't have funding, you're just doing volunteer work, this is our program that funds students all over campus to do research. You'll know it by just UROP, but it stands for the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. Students get paid for doing work with professors in all departments, all colleges, all over campus. It's a $1,200 stipend for 120 hours worth of work for the semester. So you can do it for up to 2 semesters. You can apply, get accepted, and then apply for a renewal in any of the future semesters that you have. We do hire you as part-time temporary employees of the university, so you have to be able to get hired from our HR departments. So if the time comes and you are ready to get funding and you don't want to be volunteering anymore, here's the next deadlines. Like our students just started for fall semester, but if you're looking to get some funding for next spring, November 1st is the deadline. And our process is you fill out you have it like write a 4 to 6 page proposal, and all of the topics are on all the sections are on our website. And then you apply you use one of our forms, InfoReady, you submit your application. Once you push submit, an automatic email will go to your mentor, and then your mentor submits a reference of support for you. So, and then we go through the review process, and then we let you know if you've been awarded or not. So we are funding 201 students this semester. We typically fund around that many in the spring, and then a little bit less in the summer semester. So you do have to be matriculated, you have to be enrolled in classes, except for the summer semester. So as long as you're enrolled in fall and spring, we don't require that you are enrolled in the summer semester.
And Sarah's gonna send you all a workshop that Cindy and I just did about time for you. If you really want to get the nitty gritty, there is a 30-minute presentation that you can watch. Maybe less something.
So any questions about your op? Awesome. If you do in the future, just know that when you start to do research, you can get paid for it.
Maybe like you're not ready to apply for UROP because you don't have a faculty member yet, right? That's where we're at. Like, we're going to find a faculty member and then we'll apply. That's kind of where we're at. Okay. Our next one is SPUR like, so we have so many acronyms, right? Like at the university as a whole, definitely in our office. And so I have put like all like the names, but then just know like SPUR is our summer program for undergraduate research. We've talked about it a few times in here. There is a awesome like how to for SPUR. We'll continue to do that. Make sure you do it. SPUR is so cool. Okay, so SPUR is a program. It's nationally competitive, an opportunity to do research with a faculty mentor at the University of Utah. But again, like I said, it's national. So there's going to be students from all over the country who are also coming to the University of Utah to work with a faculty mentor at the university through the summer. So like Shelley had said, SPUR is 30 to 40 hours a week. And it is a $5,000 stipend, as well as on-campus living opportunity and your U card benefits through the summer. And it will run from May 19th to August 1st this summer. Applications do open at the beginning of November and close in January. Again, like I said, so we do have like different videos to really help educate on how to apply for this. We have Funding Fridays to help you out with this. SPUR is a really, really cool opportunity. This one, you don't have to already have a faculty mentor. In fact, you apply and then the faculty picks you. So that's why it's so competitive. But it's a really, really cool opportunity.
One thing I want to say about the SPUR program is that you can, so Shelley's organizing with Angie a workshop where we're gonna have how to apply for SPUR. You should attend it even if you don't want to do SPUR here, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go to UCLA and do their summer undergraduate research. Or you know what, I'm gonna go to Harvard has a program, I wanna check it out. You should still attend our workshop because it'll help you think about then how you might apply for those other programs. We really want you to apply for our program, but we also want to encourage you to use it as an opportunity to apply for many programs. You shouldn't just apply for one, you should apply for multiple because you don't know which one you'll be accepted into, and if you apply to more, you have bigger chances of being accepted into a competitive program. So I encourage you to attend the workshop to get insight on applying for summer programs. They're happening everywhere. They might have different names like Summer Undergraduate Research Experience, SURES, or they might be called Research Experience for undergraduates, so REUs. So there's many names that they have in the summer across the country.
So the difference between Europe and SPUR, Europe is you find a faculty mentor and you start working on a project and then you apply for the funding. SPUR is a little bit different. Right now we have spots open for faculty mentors. So faculty mentors apply for specific projects, and then you as students look through that list of projects that are already set, and then you apply for certain ones, and then we have the mentors select the students, well, and our office selects the students, so.
Yeah, the way that it's a little bit complicated, but in a nutshell, it is competitive. So the faculty are competitively selected, an advisory council chooses them, and then after that happens, then when students apply, the faculty then rank choice those students. And then they make recommendations to a committee that then chooses which students will then be selected. Last summer, over 600 students applied to work in the summer program. So the rate of acceptance for that is much lower. Europe, it's about 85% acceptance rate. So you have a higher chance of getting in Europe. You can apply for both Europe and SPUR. And then if you get SPUR, then you can't do Europe too. You'll have to choose one, which we always say SPUR is more money, take it, right? Yeah.
Next one is scholarships. So first one is the D Foundation. That is a fall scholarship. We just gave out our D Foundation scholarships. This is for our student researchers who contribute to the well-being of Northern Utah residents. Then we have the Francis family, that's our spring. And they open every October. Like that's when it opens. So like next year. Students majoring in the arts, social science, humanities, or interdisciplinary studies fields. And then we have Parent Fund, also a scholarship that opens in October. And this is for any student who's done 2 semesters of Europe. So that's a goal, right? And then we also send out our call to for applications every semester. So it's like, this isn't like you have to be in a program in order to know about it. It's not like a like secret society. We put it on our social media. We put it in our newsletters. Like, we want people to know that we have money and we want to give it to y'all. Travel and small grants, just so you guys know, again, you've got to be like doing research in order to be able to do this. So if ever you're going to a conference or something like that, we have a travel grant with you when you're working with a faculty mentor. You have to be working with a faculty mentor in order to be eligible for any of this, FYI. So if you're going to a conference and you're needing registration fee or for something like that, we can give up to $500. The next one is small grant. Same thing. If you're needing like some supplies, you're just needing like a little bit of incentive, something like that, some cost. If you can justify it to us and let us know like, hey, this is what I'm needing and this is why I'm needing it, we can maybe think about it, right? So let us know. Up to $500. Again, you've got to be working with a faculty mentor. We consider these on a monthly basis, apply at the end of the month. And this is on the website right now. It means nothing to you, but start thinking about it, right? Because you're thinking about doing research. And then just an FYI, because of the next slide, it means something. We also do range undergraduate research journal. One, you can start reading about other people's research, know like, hey, this is something we do, but also make it a goal to publish in our research journal. That's really cool. Like that you as an undergraduate could be published.
Is you can also not who or which faculty mentors. You can also search the journal, see what other students have researched on, and see who were their mentors. It lists their faculty mentor in their publication. So that's another way to be like, they did something really cool. I can work with them, right? And then that's how you might learn.
Yeah.
Topically by searching range journal.
Okay, this is another reason I'm bringing up range is that we have an undergraduate research scholar designation. This is something that will actually go on your transcript, and that is big. So on your transcript, it's going to say undergraduate research scholar. And that is a big deal if you're like going on to graduate school and like other places that require a transcript to be able to say like, hey, I'm a research scholar and I've done like big things in research means something, right? In order to get that, you have to have 2 semesters of research with a mentor. That doesn't necessarily mean research with us and like that we have like supported your research, but you do have to have 2 semesters of research with a mentor, and the mentor has to like verify that that research has happened. You have to present at the OUR symposium. I didn't talk about the symposium, but like just know that there's a symposium. You have to be able to present at the symposium, make a poster, all that stuff. And then also you do need to publish in range. So those are the 3 things, which also is kind of like 5 or 4 things, right? Because 2 semesters. But those are the things that need to happen in order to do that. And since you guys are just getting started, like those are like really doable goals. You guys are just getting started. So this is really easy. This is easy, doable things just to get on your transcript. And guess what? I'm done and I beat time. I've got 5 minutes. Here's all the ways you can get a hold of us. Our hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Easiest way to get a hold of us is through email. You've got my email over here. That's probably like the fastest way. And then also you can get in contact with us through our website. Reach out to our URLs, our undergraduate research leaders.
I really encourage you to apply for our funding. I really encourage you to drop in and get support. Faculty want to work with students. One of the #1 complaints I always get from faculty is they always say, why won't students contact me? I want to mentor students. And then students say, I keep reaching out to professors, they're not answering. So there was something that was in the miscommunication. So we're really trying to help solve that problem. That's why we have the database. So when faculty are actively looking students, you can search on the database. Did we show them the database?
I can go there.
Yeah, so Sarah's going to show you the database. If you go to our.utah.edu, it's the 4th red button. So if you go to our make page, you'll see that we have 4 important buttons. One of them is funding. One of them is finding mentors. One of them is the database on the far end. And so you should definitely search that. Those are faculty who are actively looking for researchers. They'll say if they're paid, some of them may have their own funds. Some of them will say that you can apply for UROP, and so they're looking for a student to mentor through the process. And some of them will say volunteer research. I'm not a fan of volunteer research. I believe you should be paid for your research. So if that's something that they're offering, ask them, can they work with you to apply for Europe? Because I really am a proponent of students getting paid to do work. And I really think you should be paid to do research. 1,200 is not a ton of money, but it's something. Yes, so but it would have to be with faculty, and the faculty would have to vouch that you did that a full semester of research with them. That you were interning with them, and doing that, right, Cindy? It counts.
Yeah, so on that scholar designation application, if you're not part of your own or spur, you just have, there's a form that the mentor fills out to verify this semester that you've done research with them.
Yeah, the faculty has to vouch it, not you. So you need their signature on it. It says, there's a form, yeah. And it could be that, or you could do course credit. So if a faculty can't pay, you can ask, can I do independent research? And so then you could do course credit if that will help you towards graduation. But you pay for course credits. If you don't want to be paying for that, don't put that on the table if you have other credits you need to be paying for. But it is an option. Some majors allow you to fulfill degree requirements with independent research. Oh yeah, that's the database, like the other search engine, you know, with the art and the heart. It's not super smart. But it is a search, it's somewhere to start. So, and you can search by college. So you're interested in health, you're interested, that's another way, right? See, look at that. Who knew chemistry was art? Yeah, so it has, yeah, particle. But yeah, so we have not been able to work with our web designers on fixing that problem, but that's okay. We are doing our best with what we have. I'm really excited that you're all interested in research. That's why you're here, right? Because you are all interested and you want to start somewhere. So really, we want to get you starting to do research by next semester. I hope that can be all of our goal, that you will apply to work with somebody by next semester or even next summer. So help us get you there by reaching out to the office. Sarah's here to be your resource. You can reach out to her anytime. There's other members of the team that are here for you. And we really want you to be successful. Are there any, like, in the last minute, any question that has not been answered or something that's coming up for you? Okay, so how many are gonna apply for Europe eventually? Okay, we'll get there with the 100. It's okay. Is that it, Sarah?
No, that's all. Yeah.
That's all?
Thank you so much.